And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
Saturday morning and another edition of the best 60-ish seconds of your week. And please, as we say every week, take a minute to just like, share, subscribe, and send comments. I do read them all. I don't necessarily respond to them because of the constraints of time, but I do read every comment we get. And this week, President Trump met with Premier Xi of the People's Republic of China, the Communist Party of China. We're going to talk a lot more about that next week because there's a lot to say. But the whole China interplay and what's going on in international politics and foreign affairs right now is very interesting. We have to keep in mind that they are our sworn enemies. They want to destroy us. And secondarily, they are much more dependent on oil coming through the Strait of Hormuz than we are. A very small percentage of our oil comes through the strait, but a large percentage goes to China. So they've got a deep interest in what's going on there. We'll talk more about that next week. And this week, I want to talk about a story out of my home state of Pennsylvania, where a justice of our Supreme Court, David Wecht, this week announced that he is changing parties because of what he says is a systemic and growing anti-Semitism and Jew-hating in the Democrat Party. Now, look, I don't agree with David Wecht on a lot of things, but this much I do know. He is one of the brightest justices ever to serve on the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. If you don't believe that, just ask him. But comes from a very, very distinguished family. Cyril Wecht, Dr. Cyril Wecht, who many across the country know as the pathologist of the stars, his son. And he's somebody that's intellectually very honest. So when he says, I'm leaving the Democrat Party because of their endemic and virulent Jew-hating, it's very, very significant. And here's why. In most states, it wouldn't make much difference, and it would be like, a pebble dropping in the ocean if a justice changed their party. It probably wouldn't even make the news. But here in Pennsylvania, our justices are elected in partisan elections. That's not the norm for across the country. And furthermore, when a justice does, for some reason, switch their party, and it's pretty rare, they do it without any fanfare or statement. But David Wecht felt it was important to make a statement. And quite frankly, he's absolutely right. It's not just the AOCs and the Ilhan, whatever her name is, from out there in Minnesota, Omar and Tlaib and some of these others. It is across the board on the far left of the Democrat Party. Now, I'm not saying it's all Democrats, but the far left of the Democrat Party has fallen into this Palestinian nonsense and as a result have become haters of Israel and by extension, haters of Jews. And it's across this country now on campuses and elsewhere. It has to be stopped. And I'm grateful that Justice Wecht made the statement that he did in switching his parties. And the markets this week look to be going gangbusters with record highs and the Dow back over 50,000. And then Friday kind of collapsed, but that's a temporary thing. The markets are back. So with all the talk of the economy, and yes, gas prices are a problem, both politically and practically. No question about that, but I think they will resolve themselves. But the market continues to chug upward and onward. And we've said many times the economy isn't the market and the market isn't the economy, but it's still a pretty good gauge. And it has been doing really, really well. Good things on the horizon. And importantly, today we celebrate Armed Services Day. This is not Memorial Day, which we observe in a couple of weeks, where we honor those who gave the last full measure of devotion in the service of their country. It's not Veterans Day, where we honor those who have previously served. This is to honor those currently wearing the cloth of the United States of America in military service. So thank you to every man and woman who is currently serving for your service, your dedication, and for defending our freedoms. It matters every single day. And as we observe and celebrate, Armed Services Day, they run for the Black-Eyed Susan in Maryland. The Preakness runs today. And unfortunately, there will be no Triple Crown winner this year because the winner of the Kentucky Derby is not in this field, a much smaller field with only 3 horses from the Kentucky Derby, a longer race. We'll have to see how it all works out, but it will be a great day. And for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.